Alright, greetings YouTube. We have here a Hoover wind tunnel 2. Not to be confused with the later model wind tunnel 2. This machine was made, it's kind of the last straw before Maytag sold the Hoover brand off. It's got a lot of strange features. It has brush roller shutoff that's activated with a knob that's also part of the height adjustment. It has a very strange bag system. It uses the W2 bag, which is often hard to find for a lot of folks. Alright, so the biggest problem with the wind tunnel 2 were its bags. They also made a bagless version that was tremendously worse, and I wish I had one to do a video on. But the bags were a good idea. You know, they had a nice collar and kind of self-sealed, but they were so hard to find that people had trouble finding them. They also reused the word W. You're thinking, oh, W for wind tunnel, W for wind tunnel 2. That's great, but there was a Hoover-style W bag for machines that were made 40 years prior. So if you were a vacuum store, and at the time you would have had both of those on the shelf, and it was quite fucking annoying, because you'd have people who would not know the fucking difference. So the other thing, they borrowed the height release from, handle release from Savvy, and they added a cord reel. Super annoying on an upright. You can see this one has got the Hoover lean. We also had a series of magnets here that held that in. The other thing was the handle, just like Dyson and Phantom and so many others, was also the wand, so that made for a half-ass wand as well. So all being said, by today's standards of sharks and plastic vacuums, it actually did clean alright, but it's really unwieldy. It's like a Kirby without a transmission. So they took a lot of the parts from the U6400 series of machines.
I was going to use the microwave, but I was I didn't want to make any noise.
Make noise, it's fine. So we're going to turn it on and just see if it runs, because it's old enough that a motor should be bad at it. Reset. Will not start. So right now we know we have some sort of problem. These feel loose, but we're just going to open this up in the back. In fact, it's been a very long time since I've seen one of these on my bench. Many years. So that's why we're doing a video on it today, because it is rare. We can go ahead and start taking off many complicated screws. It's important to note that these machines were brittle when they were new. They're not getting any younger. We can go ahead and pull the cord reel assembly off here, which is kind of hellish to begin with. Luckily the customer pays a retainer fee up front. Alright. We're just going to continue taking this thing apart. You're going to see the whole back part of the machine come apart now. See South Park? No? You see the episode where they become vegan? What happens to them? Probably. Let's plug it in.
Pretty sure I've seen them all. I can't wait for the new episode right now. For the new season to start.
Alright, so we got this thing apart, and the microphone's right here. And really we're just taking this apart because I want the handle off the machine, and unfortunately the hose does not have a quick disconnect, so we're pulling it off here. Got screws, caddy corner hidden over here that are healed in. Alright, as we continue the Wind Tunnel 2 tour, one thing that's kind of a nice feature is the bag cover is a captive bag cover, which is an uncommon feature. We have a very small pre-motor filter for a machine like this. So, as I said earlier on camera, this machine's just kind of a nightmare to work on. So there's just a lot of screws and a lot of things going on that don't need to be going on. I'd say about 6 months after they made these, again, the company switched hands, and they immediately had a whole bunch in a warehouse that were unsold, which TTI later liquidated to places like Costco and Big Lots, and that's where the majority of these were sold. And they weren't sold at the high price of $300. Most of these were sold at a much lower price. I remember that has to come out. I don't remember why. So we're just going to actually have to take this thing completely apart to diagnose it. It's quite the hassle. We've already got a screw tray full of shit. So we've now pulled off the power switch cover, which is a digital power switch, low voltage. I guess might be the better way to say, and you see that there is a circuit board. Now this has one motor in the vacuum, and that's it. There does not need to be a circuit board in this machine at all. But of course there is. There's also no light, like bag check light or anything, that justifies this. It's just like a random circuit board stuck up in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the ohms meter and we're just going to start testing shit. I have the wires going down to the motor and wires coming in from the cord rail right here, so I'm able to somewhat diagnose this. I think I got one more screw in the back. Yep. Now we're able to get it open enough to really get in here and figure out what's wrong with this. I usually read the tag and diagnose them before I do videos, but this was such like an exciting thing, and I was trying to hurry up before the new trainee got here. So we're going to quickly, with my voltmeter. Excellent. First thing we're going to do is unplug the So we've now pulled off the power switch cover, which is a digital power switch, low voltage. I guess might be the better way to say, and you see that there is a circuit board. Now this has one motor in the vacuum, and that's it. There does not need to be a circuit board in this machine at all. But of course there is. There's also no light, like bag check light or anything, that justifies this. It's just like a random circuit board stuck up in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the ohms meter and we're just going to start testing shit. I have the wires going down to the motor and wires coming in from the cord rail right here, so I'm able to somewhat diagnose this. I think I got one more screw in the back. Yep. now we're able to get it open enough to really get in here and figure out what's wrong with this. I usually read the tag and diagnose them before I do videos, but this was such like an exciting thing, and I was trying to hurry up before the new training got here. So we're going to quickly, with my voltmeter. Excellent. First thing we're going to do is unplug the So again, first thing we're going to do is unplug the switch. We're going to test the switch. And if it works, that's great. If it doesn't, we found a problem. Hopefully. Switch works. A lot of modern vacuums that we have, like, switches don't fail like they used to. They don't get the dust exposure. They don't get a lot of things that cause them to fail. So now I've got some mess of wiring in here. Figure out what goes where real quick. It would appear that this is in and in from the cord reel. I say appear because I can't be certain because there's such a mess of wiring down in here. One. Alright, it could be this yellow wire too. Alright, so those are the, that's power in right there. Oh, I got a broken fuse on the board. See right here, we have just a little broken fuse. So that's kind of a bad sign if we have a broken fuse on a board. Something took something. I don't know what happened, but we are going to do the big no-no and take the fuse out of the equation of the jumper and possibly start a fire or something. First thing we're going to do is pull the fuse out, inline fuse, and we're going to see why it grounded out, or I guess it shorted out probably, there's no ground. We are going to just bypass that and see what happens. There's an Electrolux that had a fuse that broke on a regular basis, but I don't know about this. Oh, that was exciting. That was super exciting. Oof. That was... Let's see what we got here. No. Jumpers are fine. That circuit board has gone bad, I suspect. So I want to just confirm this. We're going to apply power directly to the motor as well, just to make sure that that's working. Again, don't try this at home, folks. Electricity is weird shit. That appears to be the motor line. That appears to be the other motor line. And then we just heard a pop. Does not want to sit in this. That's something. We're going to try our cheater here. So I just put power directly to the motor, and we've determined that the motor is bad, which As I stated at the beginning of the video, this is old enough that the motor should be bad. This was a machine that probably was good for 200 to 500 working hours. Again, it would have succeeded that, being over 10 years old. So we now know. So the board was probably made that popping with it because that motor was shorted or not working properly. I'm going to look at the schematic, but I suspect they probably come as a kit together, if memory serves me right. So why would the cover off? Looks very awkward. Notice there's a cutout in here. That's because there was a model with a bagless filter that rotated like this. So this machine is what we call totaled now. There's no fixing this in terms of being cost effective. Again, I wasn't shorting anything on the board. It was just a quick reconnect with the fuse. If I open the rest of this up, I can see that, yeah, I can see that the motor is in fact the problem there. Now, another curious thing about this is it used the traditional wind tunnel brush roller. Let's just take this apart for you guys so you can see the rest of it. It's here. I'm on the stainless steel. Get a little folium back here. There's actually more to take apart underneath this cover. You can't really see it from here, but there is a micro switch right here, and you can see that this is moving an idler pulley in there, much like the wind tunnel self-propels. You see the brush roller melted as well. Hopefully the housing's chewed up over here, which is definitely no longer available. So what we have here is a machine that's just completely fucked, as it should be at this age. As always, please like, subscribe, comment below if you want to see more excitement like this.